Welcome to our deep dive into the life and legacy of one of ancient Egypt's most remarkable rulers, Pharaoh Amenhotep III. Often celebrated as a master diplomat, Amenhotep wielded the empire's wealth and influence with unmatched skill. During the 14th century BC, he governed Egypt not just with power, but with a shrewd strategy that elevated the empire to unprecedented heights. Through his clever use of diplomacy and a vast reserve of Nubian gold, Amenhotep strengthened and expanded the empire he inherited. His reign was so successful that he became known as Amenhotep the Magnificent, a name that echoed through the ages. So who was this pharaoh, and what set him apart from his predecessors? Amenhotep, meaning Amun is content, was born in 1401 BC into a dynasty of notable figures. His great-grandfather, Thutmose III, was a military legend who expanded Egypt's territory through countless campaigns. Yet, Amenhotep's father, Thutmose IV, was comparatively unremarkable. Amenhotep was the crown prince, destined to inherit the empire, and from a young age, he received rigorous training in reading and writing and mathematics, skills mastered by only 2% of Egyptians at the time. Not only did he learn Egyptian hieroglyphs, but also Mesopotamian cuneiform, the language of diplomacy. In the strict court of Egypt, literacy was seen as a key to power, and young Amenhotep's education would be a foundation for his future success. After his father's sudden death in 1388 BC, Amenhotep was crowned at just 12 years old, becoming the 9th ruler of the 18th dynasty. Although a mere child, his ambition was evident. We know much about him through a series of commemorative scarabs he commissioned. Unlike other artifacts, these scarabs were not just jewelry. They were the ancient equivalent of a news broadcast. Each scarab carried an inscription about his reign and was distributed across Egypt. Early in his reign, Amenhotep married Tiye, a commoner who would rise to become one of ancient Egypt's most influential women. As the great royal wife, Tiye played a central role in Amenhotep's life, even as he cemented his strength through lion hunting, a symbolic way to showcase his power in a time of peace. One series of scarabs depicted Amenhotep as a skilled hunter, killing 102 lions with bow and arrow. This display of prowess foreshadowed his role as protector and unifier. Yet Amenhotep's reign wasn't without conflict. During his 5th year on the throne, riots broke out in Nubia, a resource-rich region south of Egypt. Amenhotep, now 16, swiftly led an army to crush the rebellion, returning with 30,000 captives. This campaign would be his only military endeavor, setting the stage for a reign of strategic diplomacy. With Nubia secure, Amenhotep now had access to an immense supply of gold and minerals, bolstering Egypt's economy. Surrounded by rival kingdoms, eager to challenge Egypt's dominance, Amenhotep made a strategic choice to use marriage as his weapon. In his 10th year, he announced his marriage to Princess Gilukapa of Mitanni, sending vast quantities of gold to her father as a wedding gift. This was more than a gesture of goodwill. It sparked a rumor that Egypt had an endless supply of gold, enticing neighboring rulers to seek alliances. Soon, they were willing to trade almost anything, even their daughters, for Egyptian gold. Through marriage alliances and financial leverage, Amenhotep created a vast network of foreign bonds. He would offer marriage proposals to rulers he saw as potential threats, skillfully weaving a web of obligations without the need for war. Through the famous Amarna Letters, we see his exchanges with the Babylonian king Kadashman Enlil, whose sister was already married to Amenhotep. The Babylonian king frequently asked for more gold, with Amenhotep humorously rebuffing him, even when Kadashman Enlil requested an Egyptian princess. Amenhotep firmly declined, replying that no Egyptian king had ever given a daughter away in marriage. Instead, Amenhotep proposed marriage to Kadashman Enlil's own daughter, a proposal the Babylonian king reluctantly accepted. This reinforced Amenhotep's conviction that only he was worthy of Egyptian princesses, leading him to marry two of his own daughters, Sitamun and Iset. While historians debate whether he fathered children with them, it's believed this move was meant to prevent foreign rulers from laying any claim to Egypt. During Amenhotep's reign, Egypt became a cultural hub, importing exotic goods and building lavish monuments. Record harvests only added to the prosperity, and the people saw these blessings as proof of the pharaoh's divine favor. The stability allowed Amenhotep to focus on the arts and grand construction projects. He built an artificial lake over a mile long in honor of Queen Tiye, connecting it to the Nile for easy access. He entrusted these works to Amenhotep, son of Hapu, his trusted scribe and architect, who became so revered that he was later deified. But then, mysteriously, Amenhotep paused his projects for 8 years, instead commissioning over 700 statues of the goddess Sekhmet, associated with both war and healing. Egyptologists speculate that a plague may have struck Egypt, and these statues were offerings to appease Sekhmet. During this crisis, Amenhotep likely retreated with Tiye to their palace by the lake. In his later years, Amenhotep's health declined. He suffered from dental decay, arthritis, and obesity. A letter from the Mitanni king describes sending a statue of a healing goddess to help the pharaoh. The Mitanni king and other allies hoped for Amenhotep's recovery, fearing his successor might not share his generosity. After a 38-year reign, Amenhotep passed away in 1351 BC, leaving behind a legacy of stability, wealth, and diplomacy. He was buried in the Valleys of the Kings, and his son, Amenhotep IV, later known as Akhenaten, succeeded him. Akhenaten would go on to reject his father's diplomatic approach, destabilizing the empire as he pursued his monotheistic vision for Egypt. Today, Amenhotep III remains one of the most revered pharaohs. Some scholars even suggest that the biblical King Solomon might have been based on Amenhotep due to their shared characteristics: vast wealth, wisdom, building achievements, and extensive harems. Through brilliance in diplomacy and the wisdom to avoid war, Amenhotep the Magnificent brought Egypt to its golden age, a legacy that endures as a testament to his greatness.